All right, let's get this show started. Hello, everyone. Thank you all for joining. Welcome to InRhythm Lightning Talks. I'm your host, Parag Katkar. I'm the head of consulting practices at InRhythm, and we have several awesome Lightning Talks lined up for you in the upcoming weeks. Our Lightning Talks are hosted every Thursday at 5:15 p.m. Eastern Time. And each week, one of our practice area consultants shares their knowledge on the evolving technology trends in the industry that will help you learn and grow in your career. And this week, Illia Pavlov, who is an awesome mobile automation test engineer with us, is going to give us an overview of UI testing frameworks, the page object model architecture, and all the associated best practices with that. So I'm super excited for this talk. Without further ado, let's get it started, Ilya.
All right. Thank you, Parag. Just before I'm started, I have a bunch of the screens around me, so I will use like the third monitor, second monitor will like turn my head. So if I will not watching in the camera, uh, well, it is what it is. Sorry, guys. All right. So let's start. Today we will talk about the CI test, Swift, Xcode. I just remind that this is the native framework for mobile iOS development. And let's get started. Today we will talk about like the framework and the page object model architecture. So let's just get started, go into the code. So the first one, I want to talk about like the config for launch. So I have a couple slides, and after we'll go to the code to see how it like really works. So prepare and tear down state of the test classes. So for state in the command tool of the test methods in your test class, and that does not need a reset for each test method. We can use the override class func. It's a bit different than just the override func. I will explain it a bit later. So if you want to call something once before each test class, test suite, these two functions, which is like really cool setup and tear down. We will talk a bit more about them later. So the next one, also config for launch, when we override the func. So what that there mean, we can do like this setup, we can do setup with error. I will again talk a bit more about setup with error, and also async setup, which is a new one actually. So what they three of them doing, they do like basing on a launch some let's say the command to do before each test case, before like every fang. And also you can like do the like after like tear down. So the regular setup will just do like some stuff pre-test state here, and the setup is async, so it's perform any asynchronous setup in this method. Also setup with error, setup synchronous per test state, and this is the like really interesting one that might throw error here. So we will talk a bit later about it, what the difference, because especially setup with error will allows you to manage if you want to use the hard assertions or the soft assertions. Really interesting topic, actually. Also, one of the way pass argument is a launch argument on start, and then check in code if process info contains passed argument. So let's say as the first example here, we can say, all right, we're passing the argument is UI testing, and then we're checking if process info contains that argument, then do like some code. For like pretty common example, it can be user default. We're just passing that, all right, we're running the UI tests, like some specific UI tests. So that's mean, please user default start to work, and we don't need to like every time log in or in our app, we're just using the cookie from like user default. All right. Set up screen-based class. All other screens will be inherit that class. So screen-based, again, all names I just simplified to be like more understandable for like different people with the different languages, different code background. So the screen-based gonna be the parent for any screens, for any views we're gonna use. So we have like two variables. We will pass the app as XUI application, and we will pass the test case as XC test. Also, we have like the pretty common initializer here. We will talk again a bit later about the screen base, where we use and how we use it and why we need to use it. Also, we have test base. So set up test base class in this very this is like very interesting place where magic comes true. Inside the test base, we have ability to call any config methods for launch. So as you can see, line 19, 20, 21, and all other, I just do like the mark that let's say we want to override setup tear down for classes, or we want to override setup for like each method. And also in each method, line 26, you can see that the flag stay false for continue after failure. And that's the really interesting one, because if we're gonna put there true, that will like activate soft assertions. So what the soft assertions mean? It means if you have like the tone of the elements and you need just verify that they're on the screen, that's fine to use soft assertions to see if like 3 or 5 of the like 100 elements is not there, like assertions just fail and then fix them. It's pretty useful for during development. But again, it's not useful for like any cases. Let's say for the sign up, when you just want to pass the login and all system alerts, you really want to fail test if, or like fail sign up if let's say you have network issue or the user was just blocked, which soft assertion will not allows. But for that, using special like refactoring, when you can allows setup or like login, do like the common steps do with the hard assertions, and after that pass the true flag for continue after failure for like specific assertions or specific tests. So again, everything is configurable. Everything is like really nice, because this is the Swift and this is the Apple, and that what they want from probably us from their code. So go next. But also we will initialize all screens which will interact in test suite, a test suite based parent class for all UI test classes. So what that mean? First, what I say that we're gonna initialize all screens in test base. I will explain why we need initialize the screens, but technically all nice like stuff, everything, all UI elements, all logic, everything what happened gonna be happen inside the views. And then we will just use these views in a specific like test classes, because test classes, UI test classes, as you can see here, if you see the UI test data picker 1, UI test data picker 2, in my project I renamed it, so I will show you how it looks like. It's actually test suites. So we initialize these screens like the variable to just call them and use them. All right. Any questions so far? All right. I don't think we have like any questions. So let me share what we have. All right. Let me know, guys, if you see the code and simulator.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool. That's awesome. So let's just run our app, our really cool app, creating by me on Swift UI, which has really nice architecture and everything else. Let's see. All right, cool. So that's the data picker. We have one data picker with the 2 wheels and with the 3 wheels. So actually like 2 data pickers, 1 main view, that's it. We don't have like anything else. So let's go through to see what we have here in the code. So in the code, again, we'll already talk about the screen base, and we'll later how to use the screen base. And then we have the test base, where like all magic happens, all content we can pass here. Let's jump into the main view and see what really happened in the main view, because right now you can see the main view. So let's see what we have in the main view. I will show a bit later, explain why this all messy code here, it's here for some purpose. Before, when we start main view, it's inherit from ScreenBased, which we already talked about before. So all views, like all the screens, all the spokes will go. So on the top of the view, we will put the elements. It can be like the static text, it can be buttons, can be alerts, whatever. It can be like the picker wheels. So we use the lazy var because it will save the memory. So lazy var will called only when we run this, when it will need it, when we run like specific function or like the other like extension for that. Before that, it will not spend the time in the memory. So this is like the real cool one. And let's say what we have before. Before we have like the couple objects. We're not talking about the picker wheel right now. We have like the couple methods. Let's say we navigate somewhere. Also, we have like the mark explaining that's the elements, that's the functions coming up. So we have like the when I navigate to data picker wheel, press 1, mouse button, press 2, and then we have like the 2 wheels. And that's where is like the hard part started, because that's like usually from that point, many SDETs or developers who try to write the automation tests a bit messed up, because that's I will show right now compare between extensions and functions. So right now we have pretty heavy function here, which will also save the element because we're just passing the value, which is also not cool. It's much more better if you have to pass like the whole element. Also, we have like help function one. Also, we have extension. I believe that's the extension one. Even the for function. So it's already upside down idea that use like the heavy function and plus add the extension, and also to somehow split two picker wheels. We have to like come up with a bit different names. So like the time picker wheel and adjust picker wheel, and again add there like many different things. So again, that's the function. So it's not really what we're looking for, not really solid way. So how we can do this way is better. That's where we come up with the calling first. So we're first creating the, let's say, 2 wheels, right? We have like the first wheel. In that case, it's gonna be the month and the year. And that's what we're doing with that, with it, just say, then I adjust picker wheel. And all magic happened here in the extension. So both picker wheels is COI element, and COI element by default has a bunch of the cool functions. First, you can check like is it hittable? You can like tap on it. Any other one. Also, you can if you ask adjust. So that's why we need in another case, why we need the like custom extensions, because currently adjust pick, as you can see, adjust and then to picker wheel value, that's inbox method, which XUI test allows to use for us. And that one is not working with this 50UI, it's Apple issue. So we have our extension and call it like really easy, just like that. So let's see how we'll literally call it. We create the extension for COI element, that the type of our element, and we just pass everything what should be inside the extension. So for now, right now, we need to pass only value, right? Only string. One more thing I want to say about the descriptions and self-documenting, self like documentation for the functions, for the extensions, for the variables. First, adjust picker wheel to value and pass. It's pretty common sense. When you read it, you understand what happened. Second one, why we need so like so much, a lot of rows with the explanation here, like this is for that, this is for that. So if we press option and question mark on the function, we will see that, all right, we have some summary, right? Rotate picker wheel where to given value, custom solution for unsupported, blah, blah. We have declaration, we have discussion, some assumption we just take for creating this function. And also we have a parameter as value where we input data in a string format as expected value. So this one is like really save time for like everyone who will read your code. So this is pretty like high standard for documented the things. All right. Also, what happened here? Up to you using the strings, passing the strings or passing the enums, because it's like more efficient way when you just pass the enum, or even if the well, yeah, just select that. So instead of heavy heavy function somewhere in the main view for some reasons, or like some specific scope for that, and instead of all this messy stuff, you just really gently call it like that, and you get the same result. So test suites, I talked before, this is like the two tests, right? Both of them will work. Yes, replace, please. So both of them will work. So it's just up to you, up to project. If you want to make the code stronger, make the code like pretty maintainable, and flexible, I believe the extensions is the perfect way how to do it. Also, I'm not the big fan using the like passing any value, especially string in a test. Sometimes you have to do it, for like some given user inputs, whatever. But usually for that cases, I don't really like to put the string, and especially in a test suite, because that's the you see the code just started. We're on this one, right? So it's gonna be what's gonna be like September 2010. So for me, the test suite, as we call it right here, like the test class, it should be like pretty common steps when you can really read it, because we're using the Gherkin naming format file. When you say, when I navigate to data picker wheel, then I just picker wheel. The pluses here, keep clean UI test suite, because any of the, even the not without the code background persons can read and understand what happened, what test cases covered, if we're working with some, if we have like some communication with the like manual testers, business analysts, to figure out what the test scenarios we have and like how it works. This, I believe, like the best way how to do it. So let's do a bit more demo with the extensions to understand like how they work between each other. And after we will add the one more view to test, but we will not run it, just for maybe more like for fun, I guess. So views we have, I just create like the demo view. We don't have a really demo view on our app, but it's just for fun. So again, on the top we create like some elements. It's gonna be like doc and whale, and then after we put the functions can be again given when then. So we put the mark that it's when function, and all functions with when, then function, which is not like really alphabetic stuff. Sorry for that. But okay, so let's say when I call you, when I call you, so like what happened here? When I call the dog, right? Dog should be here. And we can say, okay, I want to just let's a bit wait. So what's gonna happen here? That's how we actually do like most of the all assertions. We create like it's sort of wrapper special like extension function, and we put there like any assertions that say, hey, assert that explicitly let's wait special condition when self will be there, self will be exist. In our case, when the dog will be like, I don't know, in a room or wherever, when after you call the dog, right? We pass default by default like 5 seconds, but again, we can pass, you can see here the difference, because You can pass like by default it's 5, so you can pass nothing, or you can increase the time. Let's wait a bit more, right? Like 7 seconds. And if the dog or like whale is not there, so nah, it's not there. So I don't know. Probably dog coming if you call it, but I'm not sure about the whale. I don't have like this superpower to call whale. And after we can say like, all right, dog is here. What we can do, like then we'll probably ask to jump. And the condition for the jump is probably having the legs, right? So it makes sense, not like just to tap on element, right? Let's do like a bit something smarter than just a tap on element. So we go there and say, all right, jump. But before, let's check, is it has a leg? Like if the dog has a leg. So this is the other function to checking the legs. Also, if you will never use it nowhere, so it's can be like the yeah, my spelling is not so cool. So you can just call it here and not call it outside of that. Somehow we're checking that the animal really have a legs, and we just pass the exist just to like to make sure it like somehow works a bit. So let's say in the jump we're checking the legs, and if we have a legs, all right, let's jump. If we don't have a legs, let's say whale don't probably have a legs, so not sure if it's possible if it will jump or not. All right, that's our demo view with some nice functions, with some interesting logic. So how we will add it to test suite? And it's really easy. We go to the test base, or again, we initialize it to demo view. And then, cool, you can call like the demo view. Let me just remove it and call it again. So after that, it allows you to call it demo view, and you can say, all right, when I call you, and then demo view, then animal jump. Of course, you can pass like the many different parameters, many different ways how to do it, like handle it. It's just the example how you can operate with the different just the example how you can operate with the different COI element, how you can work with them and still keep the code clean and smart.